Yo, welcome to Bill Collector, where I'm Bill and I'm a collector. Happy Wednesday, if there's such a thing. But yeah, so let's go right into what I was going to talk about. The fuck is the matter with the bands? Kid you not, man. You grown up, like you paid or you just ended up going to the baseball game or the sporting event and watch the goddamn game and you buy shit and you watch. I get a little heckling, but when that heckling spills over onto the field where you don't belong, you're just a fan. You're not good enough to be on that field. What the fuck you doing? So, yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, the incidents are becoming just more frequent. And has it always been this bad? I mean, you see people streaking in black and white footage. So I just feel like it's more prominent now. COVID came around and man, fucking somebody owes these motherfuckers something. Can't believe it. Like Cody Bellinger blowing up, freaking booze spilled on him, dude. Can you tell me what's going on there? Like, how does your ticket give you that? It doesn't. But what you should have got was a little discipline from mommy and daddy. And that's what we're seeing today. I guarantee those kids never got a spanking from their parents. Oh no, spanking, that's child abuse. Well, words didn't do shit for those motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, what? Like I said, good old-fashioned razzing, I mean, whatever, dude. Like, Tim Anderson's giving the bird to people. I think he got in trouble for that, too. I think he got suspended for a game. And, league's gone soft, man. Like, if the fans can give it like that, the players should be just up and able to do it. And he did, he got in trouble. So that sucks. But yeah, that incident with the Yankees, how did it go down? A Cleveland player, I think he smashed into the wall, going for a ball. And the player started mocking him, like, bro, you're in the seats, man. You're not even playing. You're not a participant of what's going down on the field. But kid gave it his all and wrecked himself. And those classy Yankees fans, they did what they do, and then players got involved. And look, bottom line is when the fans have to be told to shut the fuck up from the away and home team, come on, bro, you should have a little bit of shame. But look, booze and entitlement never leads to anything good. So old man me says, holy fucking shit, the future generations are fucked if this is how people are acting. And it seems more and more and more and more, not just like here and there, but like all the time. So 2020 was a perfect example of how sports can operate without fans in the stands. They can operate. They don't need you. Like commercial and big cable and all those big deals they sign for exclusive rights to show them on Spectrum and things like that. Like the Dodgers. Look, I don't even watch the Dodgers anymore. It doesn't matter to me that much. But COVID kept the fans away for 2020, and the fans just got replaced by banners. I mean, banners. I mean, imagine how much more quiet. They acted like they wanted the fans there, but when people are spilling shit on them when they're in the outfield, nah, they don't want those fans there. Sounds like a real touchy subject for me. You just fans are always barking. They're barking like they've swung a bat before at that level. You haven't, bro. You're in a beer league. You're in softball. You're taking underhand pitches. It's not. It's nothing special, dude. So I don't know. The entitlement is what's driving me crazy, and just to think that you can show up to a ball game and end up affecting what's happening on the field is bullshit. And I don't approve. Just fucking watch the game. Period. Just watch the damn game. So yeah, that shit just gets my goat. I don't know why. I put it this way: the reason I don't go to the game is because of the stupid fans. I mean, they're stupid. They think they matter. They're good for nothing. Like, and in today's game, the concessions in your beer, and that's like icing on the cake for these billionaire club owners. I mean, really, let's face it. Like, they show you are not necessary to have the game going on. So fans, do what you're supposed to fucking do and just sit there. Shut the fuck up too. Like I said, it drives me nuts, man. Like the players are supposed to just take that shit. Well, anyways, it worked out awesome for Jock Peterson. And where were they? I think they were in Milwaukee just the other day. And the fans right behind home plate are giving him what for, this, and that. And, dude, he crushed a freaking home run so freaking fat off a couple pitches later. And when he came back in after running the bases, he said something nice to that dude. And it's like you can just see the lady who's sitting next. I don't know if she was with the guy, but you can just see the lady sitting next to him in the video. She's like, anyway, and the jibber jabber. But you know, I guess the best way to handle that as a player, dude, Jock did. Just freaking take him deep. Shut the fuck up real fast. And so, all right. After the show that I'm doing here at 6 o'clock, Eric Burns and Will Clark do a show on the same network, and it's called Deuces Wild. And so I know it took me so long. Maybe it's because I'm antisocial, but I decided to go and check that show out, and it was awesome, man. I mean, dude, Will Clark's talking about some of his conversations with Tony Gwynn. I mean, that shit is fresh, man. I mean, I can't believe that. And you have a chance, if you're viewing the show, to ask the guys questions, this and that. And I also learned that if you hit the little knock button, little fist button that you see right there, it'll notify them that you're there, and towards the end of the show, they'll let you on. So to answer one of my questions last week, and actually wasn't even, I just made a statement basically, and I said, hey, Tim Anderson just flipped off the Cleveland fans. And they noticed the question over there in the sidebar in the chat, and they talked about it. They asked Will Clark, did he have any... Dude, yeah, that show was dope, man. Gerald, I appreciate you watching, man. So yeah, when this show's over, I'm gonna hop on over that one too. And so Will Clark had mentioned the fans of whatever city it was just giving him shit. And he did the same thing and he hit a home run, came around the bases, and the guys have nothing to say. So it's like a fine line. Like, it got pretty dirty over there in New York. The guys got on top of the other dude's shoulders and got all up in the dude's face. It's kind of you don't exactly want that to happen, but when the fans interject themselves, I can understand. Like, look, for me personally, I can't take that shit. Like, I'm that guy on top of the shoulders, like, we need to knock this shit off. And yeah, for sure, Gerald. I mean, honestly, like, it's super insightful. See, we watch the game. That's all we do. You don't know what it's like to be in the shoes of a person that goes to a opposing fields, and if it's a no, I have not heard. Or maybe I have, but I can imagine that Will Clark has quite the stack of stories to tell. So there's a guy named Gerald. He's interacting with me on the show, and that's pretty cool. I appreciate you, Gerald, for coming on. It's cool of you. So that's what's happening, and like I said, it bugs me when the fans interject. It's like, I just can't take it. So anyhow, fuck the fans and all that stuff. Now, I'm a Dodger fan, like, as if you couldn't tell with all my Giants shit right here. But I'm kind of like torn on this. Actually, I'm not torn at all. The Trevor Bauer situation. It's kind of a head case, and he's kind of like blowing the whistle on things, you know, like Major League Baseball has a lot of what's the word? Dirty little secrets that they like to keep secret until it seems like the cat's completely out of the bag. They have no control, and they have to basically just act like they didn't know about it and reprimand the people that are involved. And so one of Trevor Bauer's many criticisms on baseball is he knows for certain that players are using sticky shit to get more velocity and rotation on the ball. And he's shown it on his blog, this and that, okay? And it's funny how, since he's kind of brought that to light, and then the league kind of had to step up and be like, you guys can't cheat. I mean, the best players in the league, Garrett Cole, what's up with him, dude? He's not the same guy without the special sauce, man. But like I said, it's the same thing with steroids. Major League Baseball knows this stuff's going on, and then, like I said, then the dirty little secret gets out, and then baseball just pretends like they didn't know what was happening, and they have to go after the people that are doing this. And it's kind of a shame, but it also shows the true colors and the true abilities of these players once they can't take that stuff. I mean, in regards to steroids, I'm a huge UFC fan, and I can remember, 15 years ago when the UFC didn't test for steroids, and these guys were like full on meatheads, full on roid raging meatheads. And I don't know, I feel like when you're on that, the potential to kill somebody is higher than if you weren't on that. And that's why they call it performance enhancing drugs. Now, sticky stuff isn't a drug, so why is it banned? I don't know. But in regards to Garrett Cole and his troubles, maybe get away using this. Loctite Fun Tac is for fun. Have fun, Garrett, earning that money, because you just don't look like the same guy. One bit. At all. Alright, so I make mention that I'm a Dodger fan quite often because I feel it's necessary. And I'll show you some art that I made in regards to the Dodgers and kind of explain a little bit of the process, you know. So this little guy right here, this is Fernando Valenzuela and Tommy Lasorda. And you know, when I found the reference picture to paint that, it looked like these guys were cool, man. It looked like Fernando and Tommy were cool. All right. Now, how I know about what I'm going to tell you is I had curated a Fernando Mania art show for charity last year. And once the show was up, we were waiting for the opening. But the week prior, I had made contact with somebody that, you know, DM'd me on Instagram. And like I said, you look like fucking roses and love in this picture, smiles and happiness. And so, like I said, the week prior to the opening, somebody DM'd me, and that person ended up being Fernando Valenzuela, Clayton Kershaw, and Sandy Koufax's, what do you say, memorabilia manager, being, you know, the opportunities that the pros get to sign shit and I take pictures, whatever it is, regarding the memorabilia aspect of the players. Alright, so in the DM, he's like, hey man, I'm that guy, what I just said he was. And I'd love to come check the place out. He goes, but the weekends are really gonna be tough for me to see the place. I was like, cool, man. We'll come in whatever day. So we met, and he toured the exhibit, and he really liked it. And we talked, and this guy, I'm gonna put this down. This guy's done work for all kinds of celebrities. Sylvester Stallone. He was actually still Sylvester Stallone's art manager, because Sylvester Stallone paints, if you didn't know. He was sitting in war halls and working with Andy. This guy's been around since the 70s. Needless to say, he's worked around tons of rock bands, seen a lot of people, met a lot of people. And he goes, hey, he just pointed to this painting and goes, Fernando fucking hated Tommy. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Fuck, it didn't look like that in the picture. And he goes, yeah, he goes, he fucking hated how much he tried to use him. And think about it. Pitchers now, it seems like they're on the 5 and out if it was a good day. They'll Walker Buehler threw a complete game shutout the other day. But that's rare in today's game. So, I guess Fernando had a problem with how much Tommy used up his pitchers. And like I said, it's a contrast. He wanted these guys to go 9 all the time, apparently. And it's kind of, you hear that in this story alone, that pitchers aren't always like trying to fucking pitch a shitload of innings all the time. Look, Clayton Kershaw was pulled from a perfect game after the 7th. He had 6 outs left. I don't see as good a time to keep a guy in than that moment. So the game is different. The game's changing. The game, like, to be honest with you, the game is changing in a way that I don't like it. But if MLB cared about the fans, they would care, but they don't. And I don't think that's an opinion. They care about your money, but they don't care about you as a person. Mr. Happy here, over here, Mr. Happy. But okay, so something like this literally took like 8 hours to make. I mean, you just gotta keep going over paint, layers. About 8 hours in this one right here. Now, this guy right here, this is what I was able to do in about 2 hours. And I believe, okay, so this was the reference for this was Venezuelan sports magazine. And they were letting us know that Sandy Koufax had retired. So if that doesn't show you how big, baseball is in Venezuela, I don't know what it's supposed to show you. And speaking of Venezuela, I believe that's where Miguel Cabrera is from. And he's got his 3,000th hit in the major leagues. And that's a most definite milestone. He's already a sure ticket to the Hall of Fame. And that kind of boosted the value for his Hall of Fame entry. Talking about Miguel Cabrera is kind of like a spontaneous one right now. I love the guy. He's a fun player. If Albert Pujols wasn't around the same time as Miguel, Miguel's the greatest player of the generation. But wow, these last we'll call it 3 years. It's been kind of rough to watch that happen. I mean, how many personal accolades do you want to have? Who the fuck am I? I'm not an athlete, you know what I'm saying? But like, he got his 500th home run. That's like, like I said, that's automatic. I don't need that close to 3,000. I understand. But I feel like Detroit's almost been sacking it to let that story play out. And I'm just probably overanalyzing. But I hope Miguel retires soon. Like, I'm sure that club has a million young men that are probably better than Miguel to get their shine finally. This is a collector show, all right. And I talk about my collection, and I talk about just whatever stuff, okay? But in regards to the collection, I collect Will Clark. And so my two favorite athletes, Will Clark, Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders went out on the absolute top you can go out on. like absolute top. Barry Sanders' 10 years in the NFL were the greatest 10 years of any running back of all time. And I don't even think he had a real injury season, so he had 10 absolutely just beast years, okay? Will Clark, his career started off great, and then injuries. So when Will Clark was in the lineup, he's good. Now, what can you do when you're out of the lineup? Not much. Will's career he didn't prolong it for any personal stuff. And as a matter of fact, the year he chose to retire, he ended up having the 4th greatest retirement season of any baseball player of all time. So what's that saying? He went out on top and he was like, done. He capped his career with the 4th best retirement season of all time. And you want to hear who he's on that list with? Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, David Ortiz, and Will Clark. I can't bend that finger anymore. So, if that's not the definition of going out on top, I don't know what is. And, but yeah, so personal accolades aside, Miguel Cabrera's career, but he had a great one. Last Triple Crown winner. And that hadn't been done for a really long time, and I'm not going to tell you how long because I don't exactly know. But I do believe it was Yaz that did it, and I'm not sure what year it was. So, okay, yeah, I got a couple of new things for the Clark collection, as I call it, and I feel like this year's offerings aren't as much or as abundant as last year and the previous year, but it is still early, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to show you a couple things before I show you the 2 new cards. This is nothing special, but I was cleaning up my desk and I found it, and it's not like a card that, has to be some kind of limited card, though it doesn't say it. To me, the 86 Topps is it's one of my favorite Will Clark cards. And this right here is an actual, let's calling it a update series card patch. So, I got a couple of these. And like I said, I was just cleaning up the desk and I found that, and it's not an actual, your average baseball card. So if you're a Will Clark fan, I got multiples of that if you don't got it. Alright, now, once again, this is live, so you're getting the how can I explain it? You're getting the warts and all for this program. And then I go clean it up and I put it on YouTube, and it's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So check out the Bill Collector other places if you want to see it all tidied up and clean, photographs of the things that I'm holding in my hands and whatnot. So this is one of those Desert Storm cards. I believe this is covered it up, but I think this is 1991. And I remember these cards. There's like Schwarzkopf and all kinds of stuff regarding. I think that's Desert Storm. And I've been making a series of card art, at which I'm using this little demon character is basically the common character that's going to be on all the cards. Field demons, This guy right here, I call him the Goose Demon. This is President George Herbert Walker Bush. You know why I call him the Goose Demon? Because this motherfucker was grabbing women's asses up until the day he died, even in his wheelchair. Dirty old dog. You dirty, dirty dog. Fucking old man. Too old to me too, that motherfucker. Like, he's gonna die any day. He can't me too him. He's got no life left. Okay, I mentioned before. Oh, hey, we got a knock right here. Let's see what's cracking. Gerald. Knocks in queue. Let me... I think this might be it. Oh, Gerald, I'm gonna have to ask somebody how to do this knocks in the queue thing, bro. Sorry, man. Start search, Gerald. Oh, hey. Looked like something happened. Hey, there you go, buddy.
Yeah, you just hit that accept, and then I accept on my end. It usually takes about 10 seconds, and then here I am.
Sweet, dude. What's going on, bro? I'm Bill.
Hey, Bill. I usually watch your show archived. I didn't realize you were on other platforms, so I'll have to check that out to get updated.
Sure.
You started pulling up some cards and stuff, and I'm kind of walking around this room, kind of picking stuff up and listening, and you started to pick cards up, and in this room on my desk was something I thought you might want to see. So I go to thrift stores a lot to look for vinyl and just kind of maybe some old receivers or whatever, kind of classic vintage stuff. And on the top, there's usually some maybe caps or just kind of odds and ends on top of the clothing. Well, this was on top, and let me see if I can get it close. So this was on top.
Dude, awesome.
It is a Will Clark little, it's not really worth anything, but it's a little starting lineup, unopened, sports superstar collectible by starting lineup. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I about knocked over an old lady to get to it. And I think it was like $1 or something like that. But I was like, I gotta have that because Will is my hero too. Will and I are about the same age. I think he's a year younger, and we both played college baseball about the same time, so we can relate to a lot of the things that were going on when he was at Mississippi State. And one day, I actually brought this and lifted it up and showed him. He got a real kick out of it. But what I told him was, I don't know, do you know the story about his jersey when he was first drafted?
No.
When he was first drafted, he, they brought him to San Francisco, and there was a press conference, and they had to have a jersey to hold up. Okay. And the only thing they had was Jack Clark's jersey, 22. So, because it was last minute, so they held it up, and, they did the ceremony. And then he went back to the minors and played for a few months before he was called back up. And when he was called back up, his college number was 23, which Jose Uribe was wearing. So he asked Jose, can I have your number? And you'd have to hear the way Will says it. It's funny. I'm not going to try it here. But basically, Jose said, no, you're not getting my number. So he said, screw it. I'll just go with the one they held up with the old Jack Clark jersey. And that's how he ended up wearing 22 for his entire major league career. So that's kind of the stuff that you hear on that Deuces Wild program, not to draw away from your program, but that's the kind of stuff we'll talk about. And it's a great platform. I like it. I got into this about last fall, started watching, and I try and log into everybody's show just to kind of see what's going on. And but yeah, so real quick, do you want to hear that chili story that he told?
I'm all ears.
So Will Clark, I don't remember the visiting player, but somebody on a team, another team would come in, and they would talk, before the game. And this player who I can't remember the name of would said, "Will, what's up with the chili in the visitors clubhouse?" And Will's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. We don't have any chili in our clubhouse. There must be a visitor clubhouse thing." And the guy said, "There's something, I don't know what it is, but there's something's not right." And Will's like, "Okay, whatever." So that same team came back around 3 or 4 months later for the second swing through Candlestick at the time. And he goes, "Will, I want to tell you something." He said, "So remember that chili I was questioning?" He says, "When we left, we put a golf ball in it, in that big pot of chili. And when we came back, we dug around the bottom and that golf ball was still in there." So apparently all they kept doing was pouring in chili and reheating it. They never cleaned it and changed it out. So that's one of those stories you're not going to hear anywhere else other than on nofilter.net. And that's the one I'll never forget. I get a stomach ache thinking about how bad that must have been. But like yourself, Will he's one of my heroes, mostly because, it's my generation and because I'm a Giants fan. I know you're not a Giants fan, but kudos to you for being open about your favorite players, even though you're a Dodger fan. But I love that. I love that show, and I'll be watching more of this show, mostly because you're a Will Clark fan, and I'd love to add or listen to any other thing.
Yeah, so the show last week was, I'm like, I feel, so is this during the baseball season thing with them, the Deuce and Wild?
It started up last year during the end of the season, and then as the playoffs ramped up, they started turning it into a watch party where they would watch the games with people, and then It was great because both Eric and Will would give their insight on situations, and then as people knocked and came in, they could ask, "Hey, why wouldn't you do this?" or "Why wouldn't you do that?" And they would give their insight as a professional baseball player of why things wouldn't happen, which is, you can't get that anywhere else. Where can you talk to a player like this direct and get those kind of answers in real time? I mean,
no, you're right. That's why I think it's really cool. That Will Clark is, dude, all right, man. That guy just getting on Twitter is wild to me because he's so, if you're if you're a Giants fan, he's super relevant. You know what I mean? Like, he's still omnipresent in the Giants organization. You know what I mean? He's on the field, you see with the players, he shows up in spring training, this and that. But, like, he hasn't really had the need to be out there. Like, I see lots of players on Instagram and Twitter and out there on social media, and he really just hasn't had the need for it. I don't know. That's how I can explain it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for him, but I think he just has other things that are more important to him. Social media. And he's come out and said that he's not the most tech savvy person either. He usually has to have somebody run his Twitter or make his connections or whatever. But I think that's just because he's got other things going on in his life that are more important, and I'm okay with that. I love Will for the person who he is. He'll always be a legend to me. He'll always be a hero to me. So I try and soak up as much as I can from their show, and because I know that you're a big Will Clark fan, I'll be doing the same here as well.
Awesome, I appreciate it, dude. Are you a collector still, or you just not really?
As far as cards?
Yeah.
No, I'll be honest. I've never collected cards. I just grabbed this because it was a Will Clark thing. I have a good buddy, David Swaim, he's a big card collector. He's been cleaning out some storage units, and he found some old ones from when he was a kid in the late '60s, early '70s. So I'm kind of curious to see what he might have that might be of interest or of value. So, but no, my thing's kind of vinyl. I'm a vinyl guy.
Right on.
Yeah, that's my vintage collecting thing. I probably buy more of it than I should. I'm starting to, it's starting to move to the garage and the storage unit, but it's sure nice to have. And it's one of those things that just makes me feel good about the old days. I just left a record on and spinning it. But yeah, that's about the only real thing that I collect. I have been starting to buy jerseys a little bit more.
Oh, cool.
I've never really been a big jersey guy for whatever reason, even though I'm a big sports fan. But lately I've been buying some jerseys, yeah.
Cool. So you said you're a Giants fan. You're a real Giants fan.
Yeah, my dad was a Giants fan, and he raised me as a Giants fan, a Niner fan, and actually a Warrior fan before the Sacramento Kings moved to Sacramento. I'm here in Sacramento.
Okay.
So yeah, a true Giants Niner fan. I'm not one of those guys though that are Dodger haters. I understand it, but I actually like to go to games at Dodger Stadium just to be at that away park to get that vibe.
Yeah.
I think it's a great place to watch a baseball game. I get a lot of negative feedback if I tell people I'm going to go see the Giants at Dodger Stadium, but maybe they haven't been there enough. But it's just nice to get away and see your team play in another park. So once in a while, I'll go to Petco or Dodger Stadium, or I've been to the one in Arizona. I don't go to a lot, but one of these days when I retire, I'll probably hit up a lot more stadiums.
Yeah, so I think I might have been like 16 or something like that, and I live in Southern California, but more like in the Los Angeles area. And my dad was a truck driver for Coca-Cola, and he gets home from work one day, and I don't know, it's like 5:30 or whatever, and he runs into the bedroom, changes his clothes real quick, and he goes, "Happy birthday, get in the truck. We're heading down to San Diego for the San Francisco Giants Padres game." And I was like, "Oh, shit, dude." And so we got a haul ass down there because it's like a 7 o'clock game. And it was really bitching to see Jack Murphy Stadium. And like you said, go see your team at another. And like I say my team. I liked Will Clark, but the Dodgers sucked at that time. Other than 88, and 88 was almost a fluke year for the Dodgers because it was like a reserve team that won the championship for them,
Right.
But just like I said, seeing Will Clark and just destroy the Padres live in San Diego was just a different experience.
Yeah, that was a fun park too. I kind of forgot about that a little bit. But yeah, that was another fun place to go too. We would kind of go on vacation down there, and if we had an evening that was open, we would try and time it so the Giants were there. We would go to Jack Murphy and watch a game. I always loved the big palm trees in the outfield behind the fence.
Nice.
I know they were in pots or whatever, but it just looked kind of fun seeing the 8 or 9 palm trees in the back, and just have a lot of good memories of the Giants either clinching or winning big games in Jack Murphy Stadium, especially with Will.
Yes.
So that's when I was a teenager, those are the kind of stadiums that I remember the Giants playing in and enjoying it. Is the Jack Murphy, the Dodger Stadium. What's another one that comes to mind, or used to see I liked it when the Giants were playing in Houston. Those were always kind of fun. Because the Astrodome was kind of a new thing in the 70s. So that was kind of unique. And I always got a big kick out of how fast the balls moved out of the infield on the turf. And never really liked the artificial turf when they put it in at Candlestick. It was just a complete flop.
So when was that? Was that a 70s thing?
Yeah, that was early 70s to I want to say 71 to 75 or something like that, 76. They had artificial turf. There was dirt just around the bases and then around the pitcher's mound and home plate. But it was one of the worst AstroTurfs you've ever seen. It had seams in it. I'm not sure why, but it had spots of moisture all throughout areas, almost like someone had watered it somewhere. So I don't know where it came from, if it was the moisture in from the ocean or what, because I would imagine it would collect dew just like normal grass would. but it was weird. It looked like stains, but it was just water. And then as the day went on, it would slowly dry up. But I love that park. It's sad that it doesn't exist anymore. Not just for the Giants, but the memories that I got with the Niners. It was kind of an eyesore, but I loved every time I walked in there, especially sitting in the bleachers. The bleachers were the fantastic. I don't know if you remember this, but when I started going to games at Candlestick, they had the fence. Then there was an area behind the fence that was open, and then there was the bleachers. And so when they hit a home run in there, everybody from the bleachers would jump down in this area, and it would just be a free fall.
I just literally watched a video. What was it? Against the Houston Astros, Candy Maldonado, it was bottom of the ninth. They were down. The Giants were down by 1. Candy Maldonado comes up. He hits a line drive bomb right to where you're talking about, and you can see all the kids and the people jump into that area fighting over that ball.
That's actually my video, probably, because then Will hits a home run the next at bat.
Walk off into the upper deck.
Yes, that's it. That was. So that's one of those memories that I have. So this is how big a fan my dad was. We were in Sacramento, and the Bay Area was too far away to receive a regular over-the-air signal. And they had just started Giants Vision, which was a cable provider that showed all the Giants games. Giants Vision. I think Joe Morgan was one of the hosts. And my dad went out and got a satellite dish. At that time, the signals were unscrambled, and you could watch just about every game that was televised. You would have to go searching for it, and then you got the live feed. No commercials, sometimes no commercials. Live open mics between innings. It was awesome. So that game, if I was there, I would roll the VHS. If I wasn't, I'd call my mom and say, "Hey, can you record the game?" And so I've got tons of boxes of games from the 80s and 90s of these games that were recorded with my dad's dish. And that was one of those games. And I came across it, and I said, I have to get this on YouTube. Because what I did was I had the audio patched in from KMBR through my VCR. Actually, there was one channel that had the audio from the radio and one channel that had it from the TV. And the audio on that video that you saw was from KMBR. I think it was Wayne Hagen and I can't think of the other guy's name at the moment, but I'm 99% sure that was my video because I don't think there is another one of that clip on there.
It was a TV broadcast. It wasn't from nobody in the stands with a camera. It was a TV broadcast that was playing because they showed the replay and dude, that was a great video, man.
You know what's funny is right after he hits it and he comes in the dugout as they're going to the locker room, you'll see me change the channels. I think I went from the Houston Astros broadcast and I switched it over to the Giant Vision broadcast, and you'll see it'll flicker and the screen will go black for a few seconds and then it'll catch up. Yeah, so that was me actually going back to the Giants broadcast because I figured the Astros are going to cut this soon and the Giants are going to stay with it. So I switched it over. I lost a little audio, but it was worth it in the end because they showed Will swing really slow and the crowd's reaction. And one of my favorite parts of that slow motion is there's a security guy who stand just at the bottom of the row one, and he hears the crack of the bat, and you just see him go look behind him, and then I think he goes like this. It's classic. That is by far my favorite Will Clark moment, even over the grand slam in the playoffs against the Cubs. That moment is my favorite.
Oh, dude, that is the epitome of a walk-off. And so, okay, there's this thing like baseball, we're trying to let swagger in baseball. Look, dude, like a walk-off home run, you are more than entitled to walk that shit off. You know what I mean? But like when you're hit, when your team is down by 3 and you hit a solo shot, a bat flip isn't necessary. You know what I mean? You're down. Like if you're the guy to put them on top, man, bat flip that thing across the field. But like swagger has his time and his place. And that walk-off home run, dude, that was John fucking Wayne, bro.
Yeah, I thought that was in good taste. Actually, I thought it was. He didn't overdo it, but there was definitely a celebration in that follow through and the walk off. Yeah, even the tempo, the way he's rounding second and third, just there's just something about it that just it says will, man, and it's.
Dude, his home run is classic, dude.
Yeah, it's not too fast and not too slow.
Nope, it's perfect.
And I know we're getting close to 6 o'clock here, so I don't want to take too much more of your time.
It's all good. So it was great to talk to you, and I'm going to be on that show here in a couple of minutes too. So we'll see you over there, man.
All right, keep up the good work. Oh, also, I do. So I'm hosting as well.
Okay.
Just quickly. You know, I'm trying to help Eric out with some content. So I'm kind of doing the main thing that I'm trying to concentrate on. I don't know if you're into horse racing, but I do horse racing shows for the big races. So next week, I don't have them scheduled yet, but one time next week, I'm going to do a Kentucky Derby post-position show, just kind of talking about everyone's final order and my feelings. And I'll have another guy in there that knows a lot about horse racing. And then on Saturday, the day of the Kentucky Derby, the first Saturday in May, I'll be doing a live show where we give our last-minute opinions, and then we'll watch the race live and talk about the results afterwards. So if you or anybody in the stream is interested in horse racing, if you're new to horse racing, everyone's welcome. And then I might be doing some Pearl Jam stuff a little later as their tour gets ready to start. But trying to bring some. Say again.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, I'm not an expert on horse racing, but I've been doing it for about 10 or 15 years, and I've had some nice payouts. And I can pick a horse no worse or no better than the experts on TV. I'm telling you, it's a lot of luck, but we're going to narrow down some things, and then we'll just let people make their own decisions. We've been watching this crop since basically Thanksgiving, so we have some good feelings about it, and it's just kind of fun. I love horse racing, and so if you're new to horse racing or if you're an expert or whatever, we'd love to have you on too.
Appreciate it, dude.
Keep it up, Bill.
I will, man. Have a good one, dude. All right.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, so that was Joe. Pretty cool to pop on the show. I appreciate you, dude. And I'm sure we'll be talking again. So if you're here, Joe's got a program on No Filter as well. So I'll do research and we'll tell you the name of that the next go around. So thanks, Gerald, for popping in. All right. Well, I'm going to conclude this show. I didn't even get to the cards I was going to show, but I don't care. I'll show them the next time. I'd rather talk to you. Take it easy. This is the Bill Collector, where I'm Bill, and I'm a collector. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one.